with him. We try not to stand next to him too much as well. So we're going to crack on, because I do appreciate that there's a lot to go through in a short space of time, and I don't want to keep you here for too long. So there's some of the basics starting off. You'll have all been given access to an app called Clubberite, where you can book all your sessions. We really, really do ask that if you cannot make sessions, you cancel them. If it's an hour before the session and something crops up after an hour, you won't be able to cancel them on the app. So pop us a text message. Guys, I'm really sorry, X, Y, and Z has happened. Because what happens is we will look at class schedules as they build up through the day. We have the workout, but then we will get, as we get to know you, we'll know there are certain things that you physically can or can't do. So we will change work. We will give, we'll create different exercises for you to do. So if you can't make the session, please do cancel. We have the next section, the next side of information that we give you, and that is access to our dashboard. And that you've all been given access to via text message, where there's the onboarding section. And then we've got the text message service that comes through to you. Within the next month, absolutely everything is getting combined into one app, which we've spent a long time developing, probably the best part of 2 years developing what we're doing. Everything that you get is then in that app, and it is so good. I'm so proud of it. But for now, we're just working with the three systems. It's a little bit finicky. Right, first week, if you are not used to training, if you haven't trained before, I don't want a huge amount of effort. I want you to get used to what this place is like. I want you to get used to the trainers, the people, all the different techniques and things like that. If you try and push yourselves, you are going to be in agony. You're going to probably hurt yourself, and you're going to be in agony for days. I really do not like personal trainers who think it's a badge of honor to make people sick, forcibly make people sick, and think it's some kind of benefit. It serves us absolutely no purpose. Yesterday, I did a workout in here with the team, and for the first time in probably about 3 years, I felt sick. And now that wasn't because of the workout. That was just because I'd probably not eaten. Maybe I was tired. I don't know. But it can happen to all of us. But the important thing is, if it does, you need to stop straight away. Now, we've got a couple of members in here who have been with us quite a while, and you might hear them sniggering away. I'm Joe. They for some reason like to see me in a world of pain. But no, your body will give you an early warning system. It will start telling you that you're not feeling well. You might feel a little bit lightheaded. Your temperature might go up. You need to stop then. Because if you stop then, you will recover and you'll be able to go again. Now, for some reason, and it is absolutely an ego thing, when we used to get younger people in here, the lads would train until they were absolutely dying. They'd ignore it. Ladies, I tell you once and you listen to me. Great. Gents, please listen to me. You don't need to prove anything. Just stop straight away. Give yourself that recovery time. The idea, this is a foundation program. We obviously want you to stay for longer after that, but there's no rush in the initial side of things. Try all the different sessions, because you'll be looking at that going, what the hell is that? If you want some information on them, pop us a message, or better still, pop a text into, we have that Facebook group, the Fit Mill community. If you haven't logged into it yet, pop into it. Ask questions in there. As staff, we'll stay out of it, and we'll let we'll let the members tell you about the different stations. They will obviously exaggerate it and tell you that I'm the world's worst person. It's clearly not true, as you can see before you now. I'm lovely. The community is a huge thing for us here. The people who are here, everybody who's been here, we've spoken to on the phone, and we do that for a reason. We want to make sure the program's right for you, you're right for us, but right for the community. I am fiercely protective of the people in here and the journeys everybody is on. So get involved with that community. The more you get involved with people, trying the different sessions, finding new people, because some sessions you'll work with people, other sessions you'll work on your own, but constantly talking to people. If you think I have verbal diarrhea, you want to try and see some of the members in here, I cannot shut them up. The minute you tell me where to go in the middle of a session, I know you're settled in, so I'll be happy. Right then, so how are you going to get the most out of this program? I barely know you yet. We've spoken for 10, 15 minutes, me or Gary. We barely know you. The more I get to know you guys, the more I can give you, the more I can help you. So communicate with us. Pop me a message on the text message service. Within 24 hours, I'll be back in contact, normally within the hour. But any questions at all, fire them in. Explore the system that we give you access to, the dashboard with all the information. There's loads of videos in there. If you go into what we call the on-demand section, there's a section there of bite-sized videos where there's about 40 videos of just 2 or 3 minutes of me debunking all the crap that is out there in social media world. You must do this, you must do that, you must do. It's 99% of what you see on social media is crap. The whole idea of this program is that we break it down to the absolute basics. Human physiology and biology has not changed in the last 20 years while Facebook and Instagram have been around, although all the influencers in the world would have you believe that it has. It has not. We do the basics, we carry on with the basics. We are all busy people. We do not need all that crap in our ears there. So the idea is we keep it basic. Stay consistent. Get your training sessions in. Prioritize yourselves, because I've done it before as well, where you let everything go. And those guys in here who are parents, you put your kids first and you do everything for them. By the end of the day, you're knackered and you're not doing anything for yourself. My job is now to teach you to claim a little bit of that life back so that you can have more energy for the kids, for the parents, for the relatives, for whatever it is you're doing. And if you can prioritize yourself at least 3 times a week and get in here, I can promise you within just a couple of weeks, you are going to start feeling better. You are going to have more energy. You are going to have more tolerance from the bullshit from the kids. I say that because I've left my son with his mum for a couple of hours this morning. It's great. Normally, I'm getting my head pecked already. The food diary, for me, that is one of the most important things. You are with us for up to 4 hours a week. There are 164 other hours in the week that we need to get control of, that we need to alter. And by far and away, we know that food is our biggest enemy when it comes to hitting our targets. Fill in the food diary for me. It's an electronic one within the dashboard. I don't need calories. I don't need to know exactly what amount. I had 2 eggs on 2 pieces of toast for breakfast. That'll do. I don't even care whether it's white or bread. The difference between white and brown bread is minimal for where we want to go as people. And then you go, I had a snack. I had a banana. I had a pack of crisps. I don't care if you have 27 Mars bars. Tell me. Because I'll know if you're telling me the truth, because the results will be there. But the more you tell me the truth, I can see the patterns in your eating. And then once a week, when you've done it, give me a full week, I'll delve into your diary, I'll have a look, and I'll give you a couple of suggestions to move on. But I can give you all the generic advice in the world. To make this truly personal, I need that information off you. Go through the literature in there, within there, have a look at it. I'm not telling you to you've got to learn it, but just letting little things sink in. If it isn't your thing and you don't have time, this is not homework, this is not school, it's not the end of the world, it doesn't matter, you're still going to get loads out of it, but I'm simply giving you a toolbox, and every week we're throwing more and more tools into it, and you'll find at some point you'll pick some things out that work, some things that just don't. We want in this 6 weeks to build foundations. We want to set in this 6 weeks, and I always use the pyramid analogy. If we have a strong set of foundations down there, everything we do beyond this 6 weeks is going to work. But if we start and we don't really have the full foundations in place, and some of you might have seen what we call the core 4 within the literature, we build half a foundation. At some point, everything is going to fall over, because without really good quality habits in place, we can't build on that. And that's what, again, this is all about, building good quality habits through the core 4, which I'll talk to you in just a second about. The habits are, we all have habits that aren't serving us at the moment, whether it's me on Friday night behind there eating licorice all sorts while Reese is training the kids because I'm tired on a Friday. I'm knackered. I do the best part of a 70-hour week and I'm nibbling away there. And before I realize it, I've done about 400 calories in sweets. I'm sugar sky high. And then I drop down to even worse when the sugar depletes. They're one of my really poor habits. At the moment, my eating isn't that good. We have an awful lot going on with our charity side of the business here. I'm moving house. I'm buying a house off my mother, which I really, really naively thought was going to be a lot simpler. Jesus. For anybody who does the 9:30 classes, you will actually meet her because she does come in here. She's 5'2" and still tries to slap me over the head at 47 years old. She does actually succeed. Yeah. But no, we all have habits that are not serving us. You have to be in the mindset of wanting to change those habits. It's up to you to decide which ones you tackle, but let's not just dip our toe in. Let's go all in. Because if you go all in for this 6 weeks, I can promise you, whatever your goals are, we will get there. It might be getting stronger. It might be getting fitter. It might be losing weight. It might be a combination of all three. But we will succeed if you go all in. Be selfish a little bit. And most of us sat there going, oh, selfish is a bad word, but it's really not. Why can't we be selfish and be a little bit better for ourselves? When we're kids, we're selfish. We think about ourselves. We want to go, my son wants to go and play football. It doesn't matter that dad's done a 14-hour day at work. Come home, dad, can we go and play football? And it's like, you have to drag yourself outside. But he has more energy. He loves his training. He loves his football. He's been with me since I opened the gym in 2018 as a 4-year-old, having to drag him in here with me. And now as a result, he loves his training. He doesn't quite appreciate that dad's knackered all the time, but still, these habits that we have as kids have been diluted because I've got to do this. I've got to do that. I've got to do this for somebody. I've got to go to work. And all of a sudden we forget about the habits that serve us. So have a little think about what habits are not serving you and begin to change them. And we can talk about these in the member reviews that we do. If you go into Clubright, there are the member review sections, little 15-minute slots where we can either do it on a phone call or we do it in here. We'll have a sit down. We'll talk about it. You don't need to do them, but they're there as an option for you. Where were we? Right. I am not an all or nothing person. I don't want you to go into this 100%. I'm not eating any pizza. I'm not eating any chips. I'm not even eating any crisps. It doesn't work. Long term is where this gym is focused. So we work on an 80-20 rule. And again, within the dashboard, there's a video explaining this about how small changes and keeping balance in your life will give us the best results. So if you enjoy a takeaway, if you enjoy going out at weekend for a meal with the other half or the lads or the girls or whoever it is, keep it in. That's part of your social circle. It's what we do in the rest of the time, the 80% that is going to get us towards our goals. We're not bodybuilders. We're not trying to walk down the street in our budgie smugglers with a six-pack. A long time ago I did that and I was very drunk. But that's a different story. It's the university days. But that is what we want. We want balance, okay? There is no such thing as a work-life balance either. You cannot get this perfect balance in life where you've got that little bit. Some days or some weeks, you know what? I have to stay at work because I've got to get it done. Or the kids need me, or I absolutely have to do that. And the gym, I cannot get there. That's fine. It doesn't mean that your whole week is ruined. There are some days, some weeks when we can give more to ourselves, and that's a good balance. And there are other days and other weeks where you have to push back the other way. As long as we're constantly trying to redress this balance, we are going to succeed again. So just because you miss a gym session, or just because you actually have that extra pizza or an extra serving of chips the following day, you went, oh crap, I had them yesterday. That is not the end of a diet. The style of eating that I want you to progress to is something you can imagine yourself doing for the rest of your life. If you're looking at going, I'm going to do this for 6 weeks, then it is going to fall down. And we don't want that, because I've been there, I've done it, I've taught it, and I've changed. Over the years here, I used to do 6-week challenges. Jo came on with one of my very first 6-week challenges 6 years ago, and she's going to hate me saying this, but as a result of changing what we did and having a long-term approach, she's lost over 100 kilos. And that's why she's come on as one of our PTs and one of the most respected people in here, because she continues to do it. And there are some weeks when we have these conversations when her diet and her training has gone to shit. But it doesn't mean her journey has gone to shit. It just means we have to redress the balance again. So, I think I've covered all that. So let's go into the food side of things. Now, again, it comes down to balance. In an ideal world, we would all be eating fresh food, organic food, cutting it straight off the chicken, straight into eating it all. That is not going to happen. We are in a world of ultra processed foods, UPF. Now, there is no way around it. And what I'm going to show you here is a demonstration of how some food works in the system, but also UPF. Now, this coffee is here for a reason, apart from the fact I absolutely love coffee and I drink far too much of it. But this coffee, lovely fresh coffee, and I've used this in it, ultra processed milk. And it's so processed, you could barely call it milk. It's been in the fridge in there for 9 days now, open. And you can still drink it like you opened it up 2 minutes ago, because it has been through the ultra processed processes that it goes through. We cannot escape ultra processed foods. What we want to try and do, again, is find that balance where we're getting good quality vitamins and minerals into it. But what is ultra processed food? It is food, or sometimes not even food, chemicals that are created to give us taste. So that when you go into a shop and you see any food, and I mean any food at all, making a health claim, that is processed food. Because when was the last time you went up to a store to pick up some chicken breasts and it had any kind of health claim on it? It doesn't. You think about bran flakes, 30% less salt. Well, if you look on the packaging, what is 30% less salt? 30% of what? And this is the biggest con in the world, the health food market. So when you go in and you are doing your shopping, and no matter what I say, my other half will not buy full fat stuff. She just can't bring herself to do it. She will buy reduced fat this, reduced fat that. But if you see reduced fat, if you see percentage off of salt, added fiber, added vitamins, added minerals, it has all gone through a chemical process. What they've actually done is taken a real food source, taken the enzymes out of it that cause it to decay, and the majority of those times it's fat and salt that they take out of it, and then they have to replace it with chemicals to replace the taste, because salt, fiber, and fat are what give food their taste. So all they're doing is taking the enzymes that break the food down out and shoving a load of chemicals back in. But they've been doing this for years and years and years without us knowing. It goes back to the Second World War, where the Nazis created food sources from burning low quality coal. They created paraffin and effectively put that through a chemical process and fed it to the soldiers. And then after the war, all the food companies started to get onto this and think, actually, we can play about with food an awful lot more, create it an awful lot more, a lot cheaper. Food, good quality of food, is about 1/3 more expensive than UPF. But we also overeat UPF by about 500 calories every single day. And it is no surprise that obesity in the Western world has gone up at exactly the same rate that UPF has grown. because it's easy. We can reach for a microwave meal and we can stick it in there, and we're told on that packaging that it's got 20%, it's got 20 grams of protein. And then we look at the rest of the instructions and not one of us has a clue what any of all out of the crap that they've written on the ingredients is. So we just tune into the 20 grams of protein. I'm getting 20 grams of protein. Well, I can get that from a chicken breast. So whenever I can, I will use better quality foods. There's sometimes we can't. Frozen vegetables. I don't know about you, but if I open a bag of fresh broccoli, by the time I've drawn air, it's going off. So I use frozen veg. We can't get away with it, apart from the fact that it would simply cost a small fortune. But there are times where I just want you to be aware. Microwave meals, 20 grams of protein, but there's a load more shit in there. You would, if I was to have that microwave meal and the same amount of calories and protein in a freshly prepared meal, I would be a lot less hungry having the healthy one there, because all this is done, it's taken, not only taken the enzyme out of the food, the ultra processed food, taking the enzyme out of it, but it's also that enzyme, when it enters our body, is the one that tells us we are full. Has anybody ever picked up a box of Pringles and finished it off within about 3.5 seconds? Please don't tell me I'm there. Thank God. That was the only ones. There is over 1,000 calories in a box of Pringles. And you could smash them out in probably about 20 minutes quite happily. And there's more people nodding now, thankfully. Try and eat 1,000 calories of broccoli and fresh chicken. You'll be full a lot quicker, and you will not hit that 1,000 calorie mark unless you are absolutely starving. Just bear thinking about that one. There's so much we can talk about food, but let's look at carbs. Carbs are not the devil. Carbs are a valuable source of food. I don't want anybody here stripping carbs out of their diet because it's not a long-term strategy. Whenever anybody has had a high carb meal, so a Sunday roast, who feels really, really full? Yeah? Out of those people, when you do eat them, who smashes the carbs first? The roast potatoes. I do. I do, because if we're hungry, we go for the source of food on our plate that is going to fill us quicker. And we hit the carbs, and then we look at the chicken and go, oh, that looks really good. I'm going to eat that. And it's always the vegetables we leave to last. It's always the vegetables when you see a plate walking down the aisle in a restaurant that are left on the plate, because we hit everything else. And roughly about 20 minutes from it, when food hits our mouth to when it hits our belly, we begin to feel begin to feel full. So perhaps change the order that you eat your meal in a little bit. Go for a bit of veg first. Go for the protein, then hit the carbs. Go back to the veg. Try it in that order. Again, little tools I'm just giving you. Don't have to do it. But if you're going to leave everything, maybe try and leave the roast potatoes. Which, in fairness, I tell you to do that, but I never do. And I never will, because I love my mum's roast potatoes. She pisses me off all the time with this house move, but she still makes great roasts. So when we've had a high carb meal, who feels like they're really, really bloated for a good day or so? You feel like your belly's hanging over, and I'm going to demonstrate why. So this is your carb source, or this is your, whichever way you want, this is your body before you've had your carbs, before you've had your water. And if I let it drop like that, that's roughly the weight of it. Now this is your meal when we have water as well. So we all have a drink when we're eating, whether it's water, whether it's coffee, whatever it is. And I'm just going to leave that there for a second and tell you a statistic. For every 1 gram of carbs we have in our body, we retain 4 grams of water. So that is why we're feeling bloated. So if we have a lower carb diet and we're drinking water, it passes through us a bit quicker, which is great. And there's no problem with having water and having carbs because the body is used to doing that. But it's just helping you understand you have not put on 40 grams in about 5 seconds. It is water going through a process in your body. And this is your body the day after you've had your roast. And this is the weight that you've got. And you can hear the difference there. Within a couple of days, all that water and all that food has passed through your body. You have not put weight on. So you have not put fat on. You have put weight on. They are two entirely different things. So as long as we are not constantly filling our body with too many carbs and too many calories, that's absolutely fine. It works absolutely fine. Allow your body to be a little bit bloated, because it's nice having nice food. You cannot live your lives by avoiding good quality food like that, because it makes us feel good anyway. Excuse me. Give it time. This is the last kind of main bit that I'll talk to you about here. I want you to give it time. We have spent months, years, whatever it'll be, getting our bodies into the condition they are now. You are not going to solve everything in 6 weeks. You are going to have days and you're going to have weeks where things just do not feel like they're working. The amount of conversations I've had with clients who are on long-term plans where the world has fallen apart because they went on holiday for 10 days and they've put on 3 pounds. In about 2 days, all that's gone. It's about healthy habits. Even when you go on holiday, I encourage people to go and enjoy the excesses because it makes us feel good. Some people here, I will actually actively tell them to go out and eat as much as they possibly can. So when, I don't know if anybody's ever given up smoking or anything like that, but if somebody tells you to stop, you want it, you want it, you want it. If you have something and you are so totally and utterly sick of it, so prime example, actually, when you go on holiday, you've eaten, you feel like crap after that holiday because you're bloated. And the last thing you want to do is go on the last day of your all-inclusive is go up and go to that cake. So I do it when I'm all-inclusive. I go nuts, and I just do because I just let loose. But by the end of that holiday, I am so sick of it. I come back and then my eating begins to get better. I start to nourish myself. And I've done that with a couple of people in here. I've told them to go away and eat crap food for a week because they're just beating themselves up about this in and out. And then all of a sudden, they feel really crap with all the sugar, all the ultra processed foods, too much of everything. And all of a sudden, that shift towards eating is that little bit better. Now, I don't do that with everybody. I will do that in very, very sparing occasions when people are just really, really struggling. But it's another tactic that we use here. The last thing I'm going to do is give you a little bit of a demonstration of small changes and how they work. So I'll just stand here so everybody can see it. This is your start point here, and this is your current direction. Whether it's where you want to go, whether it's where you are going at the moment, whether you're putting on weight at the moment, whether you've got very little sleep, all these little things that we can do. First of all, we're going to get you to start drinking more water. I'm going to try, our target is about 2.5 litres of water every day. And we make that change. This is where we want to be, down here. We make that change, and you don't really feel much difference starting off, but over the days, over the weeks, over the months, just that one habit change, changing 1 degree. Imagine a cruise ship that changes 1 degree. Nobody will notice at first, but over weeks, over weeks, over months, we begin to change that direction. Then we throw in, instead of late night snacking, we're going to have a good quality meal prepped for us when we get home. And it's going to have really good quality veg and a good source of protein. You don't notice much difference yet? Not much. But over a week, over 2 weeks, over 3 weeks, over a month, we've changed our direction then. Then we're going to throw in what we're going to throw in. We've had activity. We're going to increase our activity. You're going to be training here. You're going to be walking. You're going to put your car park at the other end of Asda car park rather than as close as you can to it. Again, I do that all the time. I genuinely do park it as far away from the entrance as I can. The kids hate me. My other half hates me for it. And the amount of arguments it causes because apparently their legs won't carry them that far. Anyway, we're going to make that small change there. So we've got water, we've got veg, we've got training. And then the last one we're going to throw in is good quality sleep. Instead of staring at your phone in your bed at night time. And again, guys, I do this. I do because I'm not some kind of perfectionist model. I suffer the same things you do, but I try and implement it all the time as well. Because there are some times I just do sit there on my side. I was answering a bloody message last night at 11:30 and Sam's looking at me going, what are you doing? I don't know why I'm doing it, but I've got my mobile phone. So shut your mobile phones off, turn the TV off, get to bed and go to sleep. That one small change. And all of a sudden, if we say this is our 6-week barrier, we do those 4 habits, which is exactly what our core 4 is. You have completely, totally and utterly changed your habits, the people you are, and where you're going to end up. It doesn't take much. And that's what we've called the core 4. And I'm going to leave that with you guys. Has anybody got any questions? Probably 1,000, I know, and they will come. If they do, pop me a text. Anybody got anything at all? No? Holy crap. Right, guys. So instructions are enjoy it. Don't push too hard. Don't expect too much from yourself. I know you'll be nervous. I know what it's like because we've been doing this a very long time. The people in here are absolutely wonderful. I think there's 4 of you in here who've already started your training or have been with us a good while. Enjoy it. Have a chat with them if you know who they are. Stick your hands up if you've trained with us already. Well, you once or twice. There we go. You see? So if you want to have a chat with them as well, if you've got any issues with the tech side of things, or I know there's 1 or 2 people in here who are going to pay who haven't yet paid, go over to Gary over there. Any questions for me or Joe, come over. And what time are we on? I've not done bad there, actually, 35 minutes. That is impressive. Guys, thank you very much for coming. And please do communicate with us. Take as much out of this time as you can, because I promise you, we will be able to get you where you want to be if you dedicate yourselves.